Hi, my name is Gia. 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 How do you decide an intro? We'll figure it out, babe. We got this. So you know what? Enough. Move on. You can't be stuck on hi, my name's Gia. Hello. I think I'm reliving one of my. Oh, I don't know how to do this. Scary. Fuck my life. Okay, I'm Gia Aswani and I'm a Scorpio and I love matcha and I'm currently in Dubai. Why do I sound like that? I need to stop saying I like that. You're ranting with me. No, or I'm gonna rant with you. Or this is only rants with Gia where we sit and why do I need to explain myself? What is this podcast about? Okay? What is this podcast about? And I want to know why only rants? Why this podcast? And in a world full of podcasts, why did we need another one? Because those podcasts weren't mine, and also no one has ever invited me to be a guest on their podcast, and I have a lot to say. Why wait for someone to invite me on their podcast when I can just make my own? So that's why I made this podcast. Also, I might look social, I might look someone mad. Okay, I might look someone who goes out a lot, who talks a lot. I do. I really do. But I'm also someone who just loves being alone. Okay, I love talking to myself. I like sitting by myself. I like traveling solo. I like shopping solo. I like drinking coffee solo. I'm just a loner. I feel our generation introduced hyper independence. We are extremely independent girls, and I don't know, somewhere I feel we've all become lonely. We just don't want to be with people. We just don't want to meet people. We have made our space, like we've put our guts so up high that we're just like, you know what? I can earn on my own. I can make my own food. I can go out and enjoy on my own. I can, possibly do every single thing I need to do for myself. So why do I need another person? I'm so done with being dependent on people. Not like I have. The only people I dependent upon was my parents, and once I moved out, it was just me. So I have a really hard time depending on people. And I'm just sitting in my room watching podcasts all day or listening to my music or just dressing up. So I thought if there's someone else out there who's doing just that, I'd love to be the podcast they watch or the girl they listen to, or they feel like it's a safe space, or they feel like, you know what, I can relate. Okay, so my theory is if whatever I'm saying right now or anything that I say on this podcast, if I sat with a person and said all of it, I will eventually form an emotional connection to them, and I would start expecting things. Even if I tell myself, Gia, stop expecting anything from people, I will feel I've shared a piece of my heart with them, and I don't want to have my emotional dependency on someone. So I want to have a heart to heart with my phone and people that I don't know. I don't want a human to sit opposite or like sit in front of me and I have these conversations, because I don't think I can trust anyone like that. So I decided to do it with a camera and a mic. Okay, so now that we know the reason of this podcast is literally nothing but because I want to yap and talk to a camera, we're clear with that. Next, why the name Only Rants? See, I had two names in my mind. One was Only Rants, which I thought I was a genius to like think of, okay? I was like, oh my god, just like OnlyFans, it can be Only Rants, and it is so cool, and this and that. I think I was with one of my best friends. I think I was with Jamila when I came up with this name Only Rants. We were in car and we discussed a lot of names because we thought we'll start the podcast together, but it never happened because both of us are working and our schedules don't match. And we were discussing names for the podcast, and I don't know why the names were so funny that we just laughed our asses off. You know, when you laugh so much and you're like crying, that's the discussion we had. And I think that's when I came up with the name Only Rants. I don't know, but yeah, Only Rants was in my brain. And second name was Matcha and Masti, which I came up with a bunch of my friends. We were sitting, it was around 1 a.m. We were all just sitting and like discussing my imaginary podcast, and they're like, what would Gia talk about and what would be the perfect name for a podcast? And one of them suggested Matcha and Masti. And I was like, oh my god, this is actually, I think they suggested matcha and something, and then I made it matcha. Something, whatever. We came up with this name matcha and masti, and we was like, oh my god, this is it. This is the podcast where I go try different matchas and sit and talk, and I'll have a guest every single time. But over the period of time, I realized I love matcha, okay, but it's not my whole entire personality. And secondly, I don't have guests to invite. Yeah, that's what happened. I legit have just two friends. Okay, not two, three, maybe three friends and three girlfriends. Okay, so I was like, okay, I'll invite all of them one time, and then what? I'm gonna run out of guests. So, and also this podcast is not that popular. What popular? This is this doesn't exist while I'm talking. But yes, I was like, and again, it's a dependency on someone else, which you guys know by now. I truly, truly hate. So I was like, I'm not gonna start something with someone or with the idea that someone's gonna be a part of this, because you never know, and schedules don't match. People are busy. Things fall apart. So I thought the only person who I can rely on is myself. So I'll start a podcast with just myself, and the only name that would fit this is Only Rants. So I thought I was a complete genius to come up with this name. And then I went on Instagram to, like make an IG account with the name Only Rants. And then I saw Only Rants podcast already exists. How dumb of me to think that I was the genius one to come up with this. But anyways, I did come up with it on my own. Now, it's not my fault that someone else also thought of it and they've made a podcast. But this is the one that will be famous. And this is the one that people are going to know about. So other Only Rants, just please change the name. I really like it. It goes with my personality. For the first episode, I thought I will sit and tell you things about myself or my life journey. Not like anyone gives a flying fuck, but it just made sense to introduce myself in a much more deeper level so that you understand why I am the way I am. So I was born in Bhopal. Yes, I'm a small town girly, okay? So I was born in Bhopal. I was also raised there. My schooling was from Bhopal. That place gave me trauma like nothing has, okay? I was from an all-girls school, and why? Why are girls so mean to each other as teenagers? Because trust me, the way I am, like so defensive, it's because I took every single bad thing or the shit they had to give to me as a kid. And now I'm just like, before you give me shit, I'm gonna give you shit, okay? My defenses are up in the sky, like it gave me trauma like nothing has. But yeah, let me just give you the gist, and then we'll come back to Bhopal. Then I moved to Bombay, which is literally why my personality is like this. This is exactly why my accent is so Bombay. I love Bombay. I freaking love Bombay. What I am right now is entirely because of Bombay. So Bhopal, then Bombay, and then when I was 20, I moved to Dubai. Let's start from the very start. So I was in Bhopal. I grew up with my brother and my mom. My dad was always in Dubai because he used to work here. And I also had an elder sister. Why am I mentioning this? Is because I realized every single time I meet people, they keep telling me that I give an only child energy or like the younger sibling energy. And I was like, I'm the eldest daughter of the house. What makes you think that I'm a younger child or like an only child? But that's when I realized all the elder child trauma has been taken away by my sister Roshni. Okay, so it was like a joint family, but not so joint family. She used to live like literally right next to me, like our house was attached. So she was my badi chachi ka beti, which is, I don't know how to say it in English, but yeah, she was my kaki's beti. Also, I was my kaki's favorite daughter. Sorry, Roshni, not so sorry, but okay. So growing up, she is the one who took all the elder daughter trauma. My mom used to keep telling me, like, Roshni is so obedient, she listens to people. She does exactly what we tell her to do. She is amazing at studies. She doesn't reply back. She doesn't argue. She just listens, And she did every single thing that our family told her to do, like what Kaki told her to do, from what my mom told her to do. So she is the elder daughter of the house. And then there was me, the rebel, the one who would just not listen, who would just refuse to listen to what you have to say, I would really, really annoy Roshni. I'm so sorry. But yeah, every single time she'll get something new, like new clothes or anything like that, I thought I was obliged to wear them first. Why? Why? Because I could, no one would say anything to me. Kaki loved me, my mom loved me. They were like, Gia's not going to listen. And Roshni's like, instead of having a fight, I'd just let her have it. So I'd just go to her house and throw tantrums like, oh, you got this top? It's going to be mine. I'll wear it first. And I'll wear it and I'll give it to her. And I feel terrible now. I'm the way I am because she took all the trauma. And then my younger brother, his name is Krishna, and I don't know. The thing is, the moment he came into his teenagehood or the time where we could have bonded, I moved to Bombay. So it was never the case where we bonded so much. But I still love him, He's still one of the. He's also responsible, but he does act like a younger sibling. I went and made a boyfriend. I wore whatever I wanted to. I traveled solo. I still don't listen to people. And Roshni listened. Krishna has no choice as of now. But yeah, I was the bigda hua bacha of the house, but still who gets the most amount of love. Also, I've been totally raised by women like my nani, kaki, masi, mom. I've been raised by women. So anytime a man has to say anything to me, I'm like, shut up, I don't even listen to my dad. But I also have elder daughter trauma, okay? I moved out and I started making my own money at the age of 20. So I am responsible like that. I moved to Bombay. I don't know where to begin when I am thinking about Bombay. It's like Bombay was the biggest blessing for me. Because also it was the first time I was away from home but also at home because I was staying with my masi. And you have no clue how grateful I am for those opportunities. Even though, let me be honest, staying at your relative's place is... I love you, Masi. I love everyone in their family, but it's not the easiest thing because you're adjusting to your family only, but it's because they've not seen you through the 16 years of your life. Also, it's an all-boys household. My Masi has 2 sons. And then there I was, a daughter, a 16, 17. I don't know how old was I. Teenager entering their house with my emotions, with my rage, with my rebellion, and I'm sure it was equally, if not more, difficult for her to have that adjustment with me because trust me, I was not an easy kid. But yeah, I stayed with her. And my college, oh my god, the first year literally felt like dream. I was part of all the fests that I could be. I was dancing in the fest. A lot of my firsts were in Bombay. Those were my formative years, right? You're in your teenage, you're like from 16 to 19 or 20, 16 to 20 or maybe 15 to 20. You are becoming an adult. You're becoming a person. You're realizing what you like, what you don't like, what kind of human do you want to be. My language, the way I dressed, the way I'd walk, everything just changed. So yeah, I was loving the person I was becoming, and I hit 20 and then I had to move out. I came to Dubai. I came to Dubai as a trip because in my head, the moment college got over, all my friends or the batchmates from college went abroad. Like they went to London, they went to Australia, they went to Canada for their masters. And I was like, I'm the only one who's left behind. Like, what am I gonna do? And then it was time for my Dubai trip, and I was like, you know what? I need to move out. Even though I was so reluctant to it, I was like, no, this is my dream life. This is everything I've prayed for. This is everything I've ever wanted. I'd gotten so comfortable. I loved Hiranandani. I'd just get down and meet friends. I would go to college and know things, but now there was no more college. I had nothing to do. I had no purpose to stay there. And then I moved to Dubai. I think Dubai has truly given me the taste of freedom, what an actual freedom looks like. Because I moved to Dubai and I tasted the sweetness of a first paycheck, which was quite big for me at that point. I tasted the sweetness of living alone. I tasted the pleasures of just being able to do whatever the fuck you want to without anyone, without having to ask for permission or without having to inform someone. And Dubai truly did make me an independent person because I moved here and I started living alone. I started to cook. I started to do laundry. I started to put bed sheet. I started to, make a room home. I started to become an adult, even though I was struggling with it. Like at 21, what do you expect? Not gonna lie, first year of Dubai was a literal hell for me because I was seeing all my friends live their best life in London, Canada, Australia, because they are in unis, right? They have no responsibility. They're just out there making new friends in a new country, going to uni. And there I was with my adult job where I had to show up at 9 a.m., behave a certain way, live alone, have to make sure I feed myself, I do the laundry. It was just a lot of responsibilities on a 21-year-old, especially who comes from so much privilege, right? I did nothing in Bombay. I just had fun. I'd dress up, I'd go out, I'd come back, I'd dress up, I'd go out, I'd come back. And suddenly I'm like, oh, you can't do that. You have to show up at your job at 9 a.m. and that's it. So I started keeping my life just for the weekend. And first year was also difficult because I had no friends. I just moved here, and all my friends that became my friends were through work. First year was shit. After that, it just kept getting better, and now I freaking love Dubai. I cannot see myself being anywhere but this city. It is beautiful. It's literally given me freedom in true sense. Also, I've met such amazing people. I've seen people grow tremendously. I've seen the success people can get in the city. And I think it's the best mix of Bombay and, I don't know, any foreign country. So it feels like home, but also it pushes you out of your comfort zone. So yeah, I love Dubai, and here I am right now, 24, in Dubai, sitting in my room, recording my podcast, and yeah, that's that. I think I've ranted a lot. I don't know if this was a rant, this was more like you guys getting to know me before you decide if you want to listen to me, and I hope you want to listen to me. I'm so excited to be on this journey, which I've been wanting to since I was a teenager, and finally got the guts to do it when I'm 24. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope you find it relatable. I hope you find this place to be your safe space where you can sit and just listen while you're cooking, while you're doing your laundry, or while you're driving, or I don't know, anything. I just love to be that person for you who you listen to find comfort or just for fun, because I know I have a lot of fun stories. And if not, I'd love to hear your fun stories too. So you can go follow the Instagram page of this podcast, which is Only Rants Pod. And I'll do a lot of polls where you can just put in your stories and we'll discuss them on this podcast. And yeah, don't forget to subscribe. Did I just say that? Okay, shut up. Let's act normal, act normal. Okay, yeah. So don't forget to subscribe to this podcast, which is Only Rants Podcast. I've still not decided the intro and the outro. So inshallah, let's hope we'll figure it out. But yeah, don't forget to subscribe Only Rants Pod and myself, which is Gia.05 on IG. And yeah, keep watching, keep listening. How to end this? I don't know how to end this. I'm so excited and scared and anxious and I don't know. But yeah, bye.